Hi ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Miss Rhonda's Art Room. Okay, so for today, this is our colored pencil layering for color mixing. So this is kind of adding on to our color theory unit and now looking at a different media other than paint that we can do some color mixing and color layering. And in particular, it's going to help us with our layered colored pencil draw along we're going to do. All right, so first and foremost, your name on top. Okay, this is my sample. Of course. And the date, okay? And of course, your block, whatever that happens to be, whether it's 1B, 4B, 5A. If you're on periods, if you're over at Maple and taking this class, right, 2AB, you get what I'm saying. Okay, so date and block. All right. First, gather your pencils. You're going to need a color. Whatever your color is going to be, that's going to be our middle value. Our darkest value is going to be our pure black. Lightest value is going to be the white. Okay, so let's start first by filling in our middle box. Good firm pressure, nice and solid. Good craftsmanship as well. Oops. Oh, pause for a second, folks. Let me go sharpen that. Ooh, sorry about that, guys. Okay, sometimes that happens. A little over-enthusiastic on my pressure there, I guess. Okay, nice solid fill in the box. And then I'm going to take my black colored pencil. I'm going to do the solid darkest value, pure black. And then pure white. Now the reason we're setting our scale up this way, and you of course when you're in an uncomfortable position rotate the paper. I'm not rotating the paper because I'm trying to keep it as nicely in the frame as possible. Okay, but what we're setting up here in our value scale is kind of the extremes, right? Pure white of the paper or the pure white of the colored pencil, pure black, and our color that is going to act as our middle value. Okay, now in essence we're creating tints and shades here, right? This is our color or hue, and this is our pure black and our pure white. So let's first find some shades. Ladies and gents, I'd like you to go to the middle square in between your pure color and pure black, okay? I want you to put down middle pressure with the pencil, some of your color. In my case, it's the red. Middle pressure. Now I'm going to take my black pencil, middle pressure, and I'm going to put down some of the black. Okay, and then go back right over at firm pressure with the red again and get those two to mix together. Now the way that these colors mix is actually not that they're really blending. It's the layers of wax with the pigment suspended in it are semi-transparent, translucent, so we can see the layers beneath. Okay, and what that allows is us to see these layers of pigment or wax built up over time. Now if you think of it this way, this is kind of like 50% color, 50% black. It's a shade, okay? Now if we want to make an even darker shade, same thing, I'm going to go middle pressure here, lay down my base color first. I always like to start with my base color. And now this time I'm going to go for an even firmer pressure of black, even more black. Now you don't want to use as firm a pressure as you did for your solid black, but you want it to be distinctly darker, okay, than your middle. And then once again go right back over it with your color and blend over top. In my case, the red. And you can see I've created this darker version. Now, if it still doesn't look dark enough, go back over it again with a little bit more black, okay? If it looks maybe a little too dark, really firm pressure, go back over it with the red. Okay, so once again, we have another shade. Let's try to make a lighter shade. So, middle pressure again with our red. Lay down some of that color. Good craftsmanship, keep your shading right within the box. It's tough for me here because I'm trying not to rotate that paper. And now this time with my black, I'm going to use a light pressure. I'm only going to layer a little bit of black in. Right? The firmer you press, the more of that color or value is going to be laid in. The lighter you press, okay, the less. And then really firm pressure with the red. Really get all those layers to kind of blend together. And there it is. I'm going to press even harder with my red here. Blend some of that right out. Okay. Again, if this looks too close, go back and darken one or the other. I'm going to darken this guy up just a little because I want to see those distinct value steps in between. Okay. All right, let's do some of our tints, color plus white. So once again, we're going to do kind of our 50-50 mix in the middle. We're going to go from our red square and our white square. Let's do a little mix. Let's do a little mix-a-rooney. I'm going to put down kind of a middle value of red. Okay. Now this time with the white over top of it, we always use a firm pressure with our white because it's just kind of the weakest blending color. So let's go ahead and put a firm pressure of white over top of that and then maybe a little bit more red and blend together. Okay, and that's kind of our middle. Let's find our middle between our pure red and our tint in the a tint of red there, or whatever color you've chosen. So I'm going to put down a bit more red this time, firmer pressure. Okay, now I'm going to take my white colored pencil. I'm going to blend right back over top of it. Right up to the edge of the box. So I've got to get a little bit closer on that edge. Now if it looks too close in color, those look awfully close, I'm going to go back in with more of my red. Layer some more red over top of that white. There we go. And we can see that distinct step out. All right, now let's find our last one, our lightest value of red. We're going to use very, very light pressure of red, put a little bit down, and then we're going to put a ton of white in there. We're going to really use heavy, heavy pressure and blend. And there it is. There are our distinct tints and shades in a value scale of our hue that we've chosen. Okay, let's do the second part. Let's come on down here. Let's look at the sphere. So we can use these same principles now to create the illusion of form. Go ahead and grab your base color, because we always start with that base color. What we want to do is create that illusion of form according to the light source. We can see our light source is shining from our upper left here, so we know that the darkest side is going to be lower right, and this is also going to be the direction of our cast shadow. So what I'd like you to do is let's go ahead and grab your color. I'm going to use my firmest pressure furthest away from the light source. I'm going to use that curved shading stroke. Remember, you can also use like little circles, but you're following the form. We're not just shading straight across. Curved shading stroke following the form, little circles. And then as I move towards the center circle, I'm going to start to lighten up. Think back to our geoforms. Think back to our flat to round draw along, where we practiced making all those objects look really three-dimensional. Okay, and that brings us to that light. That looks pretty good. Okay, now we're going to work the reverse. We're going to grab our light. We're going to work heaviest pressure right where that light source would be shining. Ooh, bright white spot. And we're going to work firm pressure over the light side of the sphere. And we're going to come down. And as we come towards the middle, we're going to let that fade away a bit. We're going to lighten up. We're still using that curved shading stroke. And let that fade away. Grab your black colored pencil. Medium pressure. Remember, black can be really overpowering. It's our strongest, richest, deepest blending color. So you want to kind of work with it and build gradually in layers. Because we want to save that richest, deepest, darkest black for the shadow. Right? We still want to see the color of the red or the green or the blue or the purple shining through. White, however, weakest blending color. We always have to use a lot of pressure to get that tint to appear. And then that black's just going to fade towards the middle. Now, go back in with your red or whatever color you're using. Firm pressure, firm pressure. Build right up towards the middle. And then fade as you get towards that light. And you're just kind of mixing it all together now. Layering it up. And this takes practice to get really good at, folks. It really takes practice. It doesn't happen overnight. If you feel like you could go a little darker, go ahead, layer back in with that black. Feel like, oops, you've gone too dark, firm pressure, go back in with your color. Get some of that value back in there. All right. And there we go. We've created a really nice illusion of form using those colored pencil steps. Final bit, let's add that cast shadow. I know my light source is coming from my upper left. My cast shadow would be going opposite of that. So I'm going to sketch in the ellipse I might see very lightly. Okay, and then no need to do a curved shading stroke here. Heaviest, deepest pressure underneath the object. Dark, 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 dark. And then as it moves away from the object, lighten up. Ooh, sorry guys, things sliding around a bit. Lighten up on that pressure and let it fade away. Let it fade away. Awesome. And there we have it. There is our stepped shading, okay, and our cast shadow. Lovely. Now, if you want to get extra fancy, you could take your white colored pencil too. You can even blend into your cast shadow. What? And make a gray. So cool. Okay. But you certainly don't have to. You can just kind of use that fade. Okay, so there it is, color mixing. Now we're going to use this on a draw along together, okay, as well as you're probably going to see it appear in your color theory assessment for second quarter. All right, so make sure you're taking a look at these graduated steps and how to layer that colored pencil so that you're ready for that assessment. All right, thanks for joining me in Miss Rava's Art Room. See you next time.